Hi everyone, it is Anita and
Dario Tomaselli, how are you today?
with Passion's Cooking, and I finally found him. Yay!
I was lost.
Well, today we were actually going to go down to the market and we were going to go over all kinds of produce that's available, what to look for in different produce. We were going to go to the grocery store as well because right now where we live, there's not much that's in season, and I will be posting a actual chart that will tell you for the Ontario region what is in season and when and what is a good product.
That's right.
But it's sometimes difficult. You know, you go to the grocery store, you go to the farmer's market and you buy product and it goes bad so quickly. What do you do with it? Do you put it in the fridge? Do you put it out? What do you look for? How do you find things? And sometimes I've learned over time, being with Dario, that I've done things incorrectly.
You? You never do things incorrectly.
Surprise, surprise.
Only the weather does things incorrectly today.
And you know, we couldn't do it today because
There is a
major ice storm.
ice storm.
And usually I don't listen to the weather people. I'm like, yeah, right, snow, ice, rain, sleet, whatever. But it is pretty nasty out there. So
awful.
when I heard about the weather, I'm like, nah, there's no problem with that. So unfortunately, we're not able to do the market. So we'll give you some quick tips anyway for this Facebook Live with Passion is TV, Passion is Cooking. And hopefully you'll be able to get some advice from it. And then I think for another day we will pick a time that we will get to the grocery and to the farmer's market, which is really important.
You should go to the farmer's market. I think there is some great farmers out there. And then they're starving for people to come and try and test the wonderful ingredients. I mean, they're wonderful stuff. As Anita said, unfortunately, the time we live here in Canada, there is not so many product, and we have available to us, but there are a lot of product that we can still get and use, and the best way to do is to use them properly.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we're really concentrating on too, is putting recipes together that are in season and juicing that is in season, because it's important. But unfortunately, where we are in Ontario, there's hard to find things that are in season. Now, depending on where you live and what kind of a climate you have, you'll have different things as well. But today we're going to talk about produce and fruits and vegetables, and how you know that, for number one, how you know what is good produce, how to store it best, and how to wash it. So I'm going to leave some of it to Dario to talk about with the fruits and vegetables, and take it to town. So
Fruit and vegetable, I mean, right now fruit, we obviously, again, today classical example, the weather is just a bit under the weather, in no pun intended. It's quite hard now getting a lot of the fruit. Vegetable, obviously we're going into the root vegetable, the crop of the root vegetable, kales, squashes, tubers like potato, anything like that that we can use. I mean, we love doing stuff like that. We love utilizing stuff that it comes from the farmer. So basically we will go to the farmer and we look at what's out there. So we would see red kale or black kale, and we make a soup with that. And then herbs, then they're not quite available right now. So then you look at beets. Beets are fantastic, and that's one of the most important things. The greatest thing about these things, how you're going to store them. Well, most of this stuff you don't necessarily need to store it in the fridge. So let's start with beets, and I mean, obviously kale, you want to keep it in the fridge, but onions, root vegetable, I highly recommend it to buy a small amount at a time. That is the biggest problem about people. People feel the urge to bulk up.
The Costco buy.
The Costco buy. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we do go to Costco, buy
packaged goods and
packaged
stuff.
goods, that's right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fruit and vegetable, I honestly believe that it's almost good to go every couple of days if you can. How long it's going to take you to get, a pound of apple or a pear or a bunch of kale, some strawberry when in season. Try to buy as much as possible. So I'm a strong believer that a lot of these root vegetables need to really stay in a cool ambience, and sometimes, your wine cellar or in the basement, or actually in a place, on a cantina, on a hanging basket in your kitchen. I see a lot of people still in the summertime putting tomato in the fridge. That's crazy. It's a fruit, keep it outside. But again, you buy the small amount of produce. And storing is a big part. Storing is a big part of the product. Because we go back to something that we talked a long time ago, is that farmer works 9 months to develop this fantastic product. We have a big responsibility because we got maybe a minute, 10 minutes to screw it up. So we really have to be careful what we're doing. Quality and quantity. So quality is important, and we check it. When we go to the store, we look at the quality. You know, we want to touch, we want to smell, okay? And then the quantity. Don't buy 5 kilos of apple. Maybe buy 5, maybe buy 4, whatever is necessary for that specific thing. Because they always can get it at the store. And if something is not fresh at that specific time, don't buy it. Buy what's available out there.
Mm-hmm. I've run into that as well. So where you're wanting something so bad for a recipe, so you end up wanting to buy that specific item, and even though it doesn't even look very good, and it really ruins the whole meal. It really does. Right. But I think, you know, when you're going to the grocery store and something isn't in season, I think it's important to always look at the fruit or the vegetable to make sure that it's not bruised. It doesn't have any major marks on it. You want to have still a little bit of firmness on the outside of the fruit or vegetable, right? Yeah. So, you know, we're talking about things first being in season, but we're talking about other things that are at the grocery store that we end up buying that maybe aren't the freshest, and we don't really want to be using them, but it's important to make sure that the fruits and the vegetables are somewhat firm. Also with lettuce, it's important to make sure that it's still a little bit crispy.
They need to be crispy, yeah.
A little bit of brown is okay on it, but make sure to tear that part off. But it still has to be somewhat crispy. And
you know, the good thing you're just saying, the imperfection. You know, we are standardizing our brain, I think. The perfect carrot. That's Mother Nature. You know, we are different of the next person beside us. So why fruit and vegetable can be different? I mean, we're always trying to find the perfect carrot. They have to be exactly the same. Imperfection is the new perfection, I call it. Mother Nature goes on like that. If you go to the farmer's market, you know, Anita said, you look at the crispness, you look at the freshness, you look at the firmness, but also if they're imperfect, doesn't matter.
Yeah. I personally cannot stand, and you know this, are those little mini carrots. Oh. They are pre-cut to this perfect little size, and they are dunked in so much chlorine. It is disgusting. If you actually taste a true carrot and then you try one of those little things, do not feed them to your kids. Take the time just to get a regular carrot and cut it into little pieces. It only takes a short amount of time. But sometimes these quick conveniences really are so unhealthy for us. And when you actually take that moment to taste what a regular carrot would taste like, what a fresh carrot, like something from a farmer's market that's in season, as opposed to those little things that we feed the kids sometimes and ourselves that make the quick little dip and it's easy. Just take a few minutes, you know, and take that time to actually cut that product.
And, you know, look, for example, you know, what are we doing today for dinner tonight? You know, we don't have very many vegetables available to us, so we're creating something that is based on green. You know, we're making this rice with some coconut milk, coconut water.
So this is new to me because we have nothing in the fridge.
Wow, this was
so how, I don't know how you do this, but he always ends up finding something. I am convinced there is nothing in that fridge. And so I'm curious to see what tonight's creation is going to be. It's
about being accessible to yourself and think what you have and create something incredible. We got some fresh free-range chicken, and we know that we have that. We got some beautiful fresh herbs, and then we have greens. So I'm not going to be available. You know, we were going to go to the market. We were not able to get our beets or our root vegetable and everything. So we're going to create something with grains. So don't be afraid of those grains. You know, some brown rice, some barley, some couscous, some tabbouleh, some quinoa, anything. Don't be afraid of things like that.
So back to produce. Number one is just to make sure that you try and buy fresh, buy within season. I mean, I love tomatoes, but we know that they're not real tomatoes right now. It's best to buy them in within season. If you have to have something that you're buying from the grocery store that is not in season, really make sure that it's still somewhat firm. It's not bruised. It hasn't been marked, to really understand. A lot of the fruits, like I think it's melons and pineapple, if it has a really strong flavor to it, that means it's overripe and it's not good anymore. So it's a good idea, like you said, to smell it, to feel it, to really understand, because the last thing you want to do is get home, have all this stuff, and really it's not any good to you. And number three is something that my mom used to always do is wash the fruit with a special solution. So she used to go to the health food store and buy this special solution, but I know you can use vinegar and water, and people have done that, where you have 3 parts water, 1 part vinegar. And hi Heather, how you doing? And you put that into a solution and you can wash your fruits and vegetables there, because you can tell a lot of times with your apples and some of your other fruits and vegetables that you have out there, you can feel that waxy substance. A lot of times they pick them really before their ripeness and they ship them to you. So it's important to get that stuff off of there. Organic, sometimes we're unsure of what is really organic and what isn't and what's been used. So it's always safe to really, really wash your products properly. So, 3 things: to buy things that are in season is really one of the best. To buy things that are your farmer's market and they're healthy, not things that are transferred from somewhere else. Again, it's always difficult depending on where you live. I'm gonna post a list of what in Ontario is available, and I'm looking to get a chart actually for all around the world, which I'd love to get my hands on, because everywhere is different, of course. 2 is to make sure that they're firm and that they're good. Important. And number 3 is to wash them properly. So really sorry that we weren't able to get to the market today. The ice storm has really, really knocked a lot of people out. So hoping that next week we will get to the market. We've got some great markets here. Local, we got the Barrie, we got the New Market, we've got the St. Lawrence Market that we love. Kensington, I got to experience for the first time. Oh yeah, and the Aurora Market too. So there's a lot of really good markets for you to be able to explore and find some local things. So hopefully you found this a bit helpful today on produce and what to do, what to look for. And you have anything else to add, sweetie?
Just make sure you shop wisely. No volume. Volume is not a necessity. We have food in the fridge, even she doesn't.
I am dying to see what you're going to make, because I really think there's nothing in that fridge. So.
Well, you know what? Stay inside if you live around here. Don't go outside and driving. And create something special for tonight. Don't be afraid of turning that stove. Spend some time with your wife, with your friends, and cook something spectacular.
Hey, Megan.
Ciao, Megan.
She's coming in just as we're signing off. Hugs and kisses to everyone. Ciao for now.
Bye, guys.